Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another installment.
Welcome, class.
Welcome to another edition. I tried to change it up and it didn't work out for me. Another edition of TapCaf Transmissions. I am Corey, one of your hosts, joined by the other host, Mr. Justin Eckhartsladder. How are you doing tonight, Justin?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Happy to be back. We took, 1 or 2 weeks off? A couple of weeks? I don't know.
I think we only took the 1 week off, but that means the last episode was 2 weeks ago. And I just uploaded the audio edition of that today, so... usually there's a hard limit of the next episode going up that... Because I forgot to press record at the start. I was thinking, I'll download it. But usually what reminds me to do the audio upload is seeing it in my recordings. So it just didn't work. But to discuss Star Wars The Acolyte Wayseeker, our topic for tonight by Justina Ireland, we have a special guest. We have a return.
Bald Verestra.
We do have special guest Bald Verestra on the podcast. Would Bald Verestra like to take off your hat to show us?
Verestra glow? Oh, are you talking about me?
Well, yeah, I guess you're Bald Verestra now. But we have return guest making his first return since Heir to the Jedi? Or Heir to the...
No, I was on for Dark Disciple.
Okay, so we have Bionic Zack, employee and wage slave.
Jedi? Did we actually read that?
Me and Zack did.
You weren't there for that.
Did it? But
you had your child.
Yeah.
It's been that long since you've been on?
Well, he's saying no, so...
Oh, okay.
But anyways, our topic tonight is...
Okay, you know what, Corey? This is a podcast, not the Corey soliloquy hour. Can you let somebody else speak?
No, because we'll never get to talking about the book, and that's what people want. You know how many angry comments we get about not getting to the book? Because you and I wanted to talk about Red Green more than the book?
Fair enough. Go on, then.
All right, we're talking about the Acolyte Wayseeker. How are you doing, Zack?
I'm doing a lot better than I was earlier. I had some car troubles earlier today, as you both know. But it gave me the opportunity to finish this book and begin reading it again at double speed in case I missed anything.
I know you listened to it, but just reading it double speed, it makes me imagine that like you had the Inspector Gadget glass, or no, like the Spy Kids glasses, and then it came down, and then another slide came down, like double speed reading.
I mean, it's a pretty short book. Like I think I knocked it out in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's like what Zack, like 9-hour audiobook maybe?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And unlike you guys, spoiler alert, I enjoyed the book. So
Did you really?
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So this is basically a kind of it's not a galaxy-shattering story. It's about Verestra Rho, about 100 years after the events of the High Republic, so about 30 years before the Acolyte. Probably
God, there are so many long-lived species.
Yeah. So Verestra herself is just getting to 100. Indara is about like 25 to 30. So we're seeing some backstory for an Acolyte character, some forestory for a High Republic character. I think there's some slight spoilers about the fates of some High Republic characters in this, as people who haven't read the finale of the High Republic yet.
And this did come out before the final book as well, so
yeah.
I mean, we knew Verestra survived from obviously the Acolyte. Tyloric is one of the other ones.
Porter Engle is implied to still be alive as well.
Yeah.
And
Porter
dude was old already in High Republic.
Yeah. Okay, so this was one of my problems with the novel. Probably my main issue. It's just in this weird no man's land where it's got the Acolyte. It's Star Wars : Acolyte : Wayseeker. It's in no way related to the Acolyte. Like there are almost no connections other than Indara is in it. But it's so far away from the High Republic that like the only way they can really connect it is being like, guess which other species also lives for a long time? Bring out whomever, friend from the past, and I don't have that much of a problem with it. It's just like they are in this really weird place, and also to me, that let the galaxy feeling really like undefined. Like I didn't know kind of what was going on. Like if it were in the Acolyte era, okay, I'd at least know some of the other Jedi or like what the Order's like. If we're in the High Republic era, same. But we're in this weird, place and time that nothing else has really happened. And we don't do a whole lot of world building. We're straight into an adventure. And it was just kind of weird to me.
Can I say what I think the issue with the book overall is? I think when it was written, they were unsure if the Acolyte was going to be a hit.
No. You can't.
Can you... What?
You can't say what you think the issue
I
is.
can't?
No.
Oh, okay. Then, all right, I'll just be quiet now. I'll just sit here and listen to you two. All right. All right. Well, so it was written when they were unsure if the Acolyte was going to be a hit, if it was going to be renewed for a second season, and they were uncertain what they could reveal here. So we're in this limbo area of a book where it's half a High Republic book, which I haven't read any of the High Republic novels, so my only familiarity with any of these characters is through the Acolyte, and I really didn't feel like I got what I would have wanted out of this book, being somebody who liked but didn't love the Acolyte.
It really is more like a High Republic postscript than anything else. Which, if I'm a High Republic fan, I mean, and I don't hate the High Republic. Like, I'm not like a hardcore fan, but like, I'd be seeing this book and I'd be feeling pretty good. Like, hey, they've been talking about how the High Republic's not over. It's just the phases are over already. We've got a book that's pretty much High Republic epilogue, so that's nice. And I think are there other Acolyte novels coming out as well?
Yeah, there's a
young adult one.
I want something.
I think it came out today.
It's got Daphne Keane in it, whatever her character is.
And Jord?
Yord's in it. With,
I would be more interested in that. We should read that one. I'd be more interested in that.
So, like, I do see where you're coming from, Zach, but I think the intent would have always been, even if there was going to be a second season, or especially if there was going to be a second season, then you'd kind of get the same opportunity to do this book. And without it, I don't think they'd go into like more of a Chimera or May and Asha plot quite yet. Like, I think that will come in book form probably, but I think even then, I don't know if they've completely closed the door on the possibility of doing more of the Acolyte as a show. Like, the second season is canceled right now, but like what I was saying at the time is that I think it's a show that doesn't super suffer if it takes a few years to get back to it, if they decide to go that route. Like, I don't think Disney is thinking they're going to make it, but I feel like they'd be more likely to say, hold off on those books, because they're not going to be like breaking the doors down for books. And if they decide, like, if streaming comes back around as like television streaming shows or the new hot thing again instead of movies, I think they could revisit the Acolyte.
Yeah, I definitely think they could too, but I just, coming at this from the way they titled it The Acolyte, and our point of view character for most of the book is Verestra and Indara, and I feel like Verestra didn't play a huge role in the Acolyte. Like, you get a basic idea of who she is as a character, but reading this, being pretty unfamiliar with anything that happened prior to the story, I feel like they just kind of expected you to like know this character very intimately, and they're throwing a lot of the backstory at you with very kind of like highlight reel references where it's like, oh yeah, and I did this thing, and then they play at the Acolyte connections kind of in a more vague direction. Like when they reference her relationship with Chimera in the book, it's always very vague.
What's interesting is that, I didn't even read that many novels with Verestra in it, because during the High Republic, she primarily is like the young reader, protagonist. Like,
which is where this author came from. I figured that out.
Yeah. So like they mentioned that she was a Jedi Knight at like 15 or whatever, and that's kind of how she's introduced. And yeah, like I agree with that. I feel kind of weird about Verestra after watching the act, like reading this book. I just kept thinking of her portrayal in the show, which is kind of an interesting portrayal. Honestly, she almost seems like, I wouldn't say a villain, but
she has sinister
shady
things
to me.
Yeah,
she seems sinister, and in this novel, like maybe she heads more in that direction, because in this novel they spend a lot of time saying how great she is, but she's also pretty arrogant, or at least like set in her own ways. She looks down kind of on the Jedi. So I really was just thinking about like novel Verestra, or sorry, Acolyte Verestra, the whole book.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is that, like, the thing that makes Verestra seem sinister in the Acolyte is that she's got this pre-existing relationship with Chimere and knows it's him, but that hasn't happened yet here. Like, he's probably not even born yet. It's like she would have taken him as an apprentice after she ends up back at the council.
I wasn't sure, because she references
just Imri, right?
So I thought that too, but this is 20 years before the Acolyte, and when they make reference to a former apprentice she has, I was like, well, that can't be Chimere, because he's got to be like, what, mid-20s? I didn't realize Manu Jacinto was like 39.
But they're only,
so
I think every time she references an apprentice, it's about Imri Kantros.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I got the idea.
While reading
what even
it that
happened
wasn't
to
about
him?
him.
I don't remember what happened to him.
He's fine in the High Republic books. He dies between the High Republic books and now. Like, her ship is named the Kentaros after Imri. So whenever she's talking about her apprentice, I think every instance of that in the book was about her High Republic apprentice.
Well, because I thought her exile, or her becoming a Wayseeker, was because of the events with Chimere.
No, she chose.
Because this is only 4 years before the Mayanosha backstory.
So the Wayseeker stuff. So she probably wouldn't have been allowed to take an apprentice as a Wayseeker. I don't think we've seen that in the High Republic. I've read so much of it a long time ago, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think Chimere has happened yet. And like, it's not like becoming a Wayseeker isn't like being exiled. It's her deciding that she wanted to go off because she didn't like what the Order was doing.
I should have specified that. That's what. Yeah, but I think what I thought what happened was the situation with Chimere was what led her to become a Wayseeker, because they kind of play with that idea that she has some kind of trauma associated with the events that led her to where she is right now.
Also, the visual dictionary, I just remember this, hints that he may be older than he appears.
Okay. Yeah, it's just at least all the references I picked up on were to an apprentice being Imri. And sad about her dead apprentice kind of stuff.
There was one where it was like the very first time she references an apprentice, it's like the tragedy or like how she let her apprentice down, and it was a tragedy.
Yeah.
That was the one that I thought specifically was in reference to.
See, I didn't even realize she had another apprentice, and I just assumed any reference to a former apprentice was Chimere.
No, like the stuff about when she offers Indara, like, oh, go look at these hollows of my apprentice, and talks about like the ship being named after her apprentice. Yeah. That's after her High Republic young reader novels, Apprentice Imri. But because like he went on to be a Jedi philosopher, and then he just died off screen between then and now because he's just a shitty little human. We can't have him.
Well, yeah, it does reference specifically like trauma that she's had, because like early on it introduces trauma for both her and for what's her name?
Indara.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, a lot of the trauma that it gives her in the book, it tends to focus more on all the stuff with the Nile and like the main events of the High Republic. And then with Indara, it's because she gets trapped in a cave. But
yeah.
So before we get too far away, the overall plot is essentially Indara's a little bookworm, always in the temple archives, and so she is sent by the Jedi Council to get Verestra back to the temple, because Verestra does not answer their phone calls or their registered mail. So they're probably wasting like dozens of credits every day trying to call her. So Indara goes to find her. She hates Verestra when they meet. They go back to the temple. And they find out that this technology that was developed during the events of the High Republic, this lightsaber shut-off button, is becoming more common again. So then Indara and Verestra go out on their little buddy cop adventure, hunt down the senator's son, a fortunate son, who says it ain't me at first, but then they kill him. And, they try to arrest him, his assistant kills him, and then they arrest the assistant, and everyone's happy again.
Yeah.
So, that's the plot.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I was trying to think of how to get more CCR references in there, and I just gave up. So
I'm just sorry. I'm just reading the book, trying to find the.
Do you have an ebook version? I don't like. I think I
just
must have had one.
I'm gonna try to refund it.
What did you guys think of the perspective changes?
I thought it was fine. I mean, it is. It's definitely rare to have a first-person perspective in a Star Wars novel, but I mean that made it clear when it was Verestra, at least.
I just didn't like the third person whenever it was Indara. I didn't. I don't know. I've never read a book that's done that before.
Oh, here we go.
So I think it was just like the concept was just kind of odd to me.
Yeah, I found the first reference. So when I was promoted to master, I had some idea of the requirements of the rank, but I would be lying if I said I was ready to step into the role with whole heart. Teaching, I enjoy, blah, 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 blah. In addition, I'd had a number of Padawans over the year, each of them different and yet the same in their devotions to learning. And I'd enjoyed mentoring them right up until my last Padawan, whom I'd failed in so many ways.
Okay, yeah, that would be Chimere then. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But the other one's Imri. That number of Padawans too. But
let's see if I can refund this now.
As far as the perspective changes go, there were some times for unrelated reasons that I had trouble figuring out who was actually talking because of just a mess of like pronouns being thrown out in the middle of a sentence, or just like skipping to an next line and someone saying something that isn't really in or out of character for anything. But as far as the perspective goes, I think the intent there is that like Verestra is more solid in who she is, so you get that access to her internal monologue, whereas Indara is still kind of figuring that out, so it's kept in third person. Like maybe that's weak, but that was what I thought it might have been while reading it.
Yeah.
Or it was two books that were slapped together.
Two very short ones.
I really dislike the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Like the kind of take the Indara picture into Photoshop and then denoise to make her look younger. It just looks like it's very clear.
Well, that is classic Star Wars novel, though.
Yeah, but true. Usually when you're doing that with the actors, it's part of like a bigger montage or collage, so it's harder to tell that that's what it is. But this cover is literally just like Indara and Verestra, and it's.
I just think Verestra looks silly as well. I don't know. I don't love the casting choice. Like.
Well, Justin, you listened to the audiobook. What did you think of some of those accents they were throwing out? Yaddle specifically, sounding like sounding like the witch from Looney Tunes the entire time.
That was bad. The worst I've ever heard in a Star Wars audiobook has got to be I can't remember the name of the Wookiee. Remember in the Thrawn trilogy when they go to
the Wookiee that can talk,
the Wookiee who can speak basic. Oh my fucking god, it's almost unlistenable. Like he's like, "You go to the spaceport." Like that's actually what it's like, and it like takes 50 seconds to get out 5 words. Oh my fuck.
That's kind of what I hate about KOTOR though too, is like all the alien audio cues are the same thing looping, and you can't speed up through it. So it's like, and then the Ithorians never fucking shut up.
Yeah, she's like, shut up. Let me get your star map.
In this audiobook, from what I can remember, you get some deep Southern accents, you get Irish accents, you get
like 3
was
black
Nilsson Irish?
A deep Southern accent.
Yep.
Was who Irish?
Nilsson, the crime lord guy, Spicehead.
No, he was like, yeah, he was whatever.
It was somebody in like the gladiator thing that they wound up in.
I am forbidding Star Wars from using that plot line for another decade. That they go to that well way too often of Jedi ends up in underground fighting ring. It happens in the High Republic Phase 2 where I forget her name, but one of the main characters ends up in like this underground fighting ring. It happens to Cal Kestis on the asteroid planet thing. It happens here
happens
to
Darth
Indara.
Maul.
It's like I don't have a problem with it in theory, but when it happens like once every other year, we're going to that well too much. Let's find something else to do.
Darth Maul fought the Yuuzhan Vong. Remember? In on the asteroid, he fought the Yuuzhan Vong warrior.
Was that
before
Unchained?
the invasion? What novel was that? Have you read that one, Corey?
Shadow Hunter. Sabotage.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Interconnectivity.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of interconnectivity, we need to ask what Indara was, or what Verestra was doing a few years ago, as her droid is called J6. So
was J6 in the High Republic?
Yes. So I found that I was like reading it. I was like, they didn't intentionally name this droid this, did they? Looked it up. First appearance was from a book published January 5th, 2021.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate timing. But they stuck with it, God bless them.
Yeah. They couldn't like get a slightly, I don't know. Yeah, I like to be called January now.
That droid is responsible for storming the Jedi Temple.
She goes back to her home planet in this one, so
yeah, she literally disappears.
So I guess she's technically written out now in case they want to do it. What is the other one? Is it called Crown of Shattered Crown, or is that a League of Legends item? Acolyte in books. I'm only getting results for Wayseeker, even though I know the other one's out there. So, the other complaint I have about the book...
The Crystal Crown.
Crystal Crown, there we go. Shattered Queen's Crown, I think, is the League of Legends item. But that one has the same form factor as the other High Republic books, at least the young adult ones, I think. But this one... This is just so strangely shaped that it's going to be hard to fit on my shelf.
It's also very glossy.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I'm going to say, if you like the Jedi participates in some kind of gladiator duel, you'll love the Crystal Crown, because the description says Star Wars meets the Hunger Games.
Oh, brother.
You already committed to reading it, Justin. All right. So thematically, one of the big things that they talk about in the book is that, like, one of the reasons that Verestra wants to go be a Wayseeker, because she feels like the Jedi are not connected to the galaxy enough. And I feel like that's an uncontroversial take in Star Wars at this point. But
she also is a boomer, though. She's like...
She is a little bit of a boomer. But she Indara gets worried about her attachments to, like, her hallucinations of Stellan, and her little shrine to Stellan. And there's the idea that attachments are okay as long as you're not like jealously guarding them and holding them to life. So what do you guys think about that through line here?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we saw that in the High Republic as well, obviously. You get some romance. It's just like there's a difference between, like you said, like jealously guarding or coveting versus loving. And I like the idea that really it was the prequel Jedi who had kind of taken things in the wrong direction a little bit. I know George Lucas doesn't like that probably, but Who were the two the Jedi in High Republic again?
Elzar and Avar.
Elzar,
but they had their threesome with Stellan.
I didn't read that part.
It was implied.
But yeah, I like they were fucking on the daily down low, and then they kind of get together. So yeah, I do like how she's like, no, you do have to feel, and like you do have to miss them, and you do even sometimes have to let your emotions guide you. It's just you don't let them dominate you. Basically, is the difference, and I did like that.
There was a line in there that I really liked. I think it was from somebody on the colony about they were discussing like the history of the Jedi, and the line was something along the lines of there were so many Jedi in the galaxy, and there are fewer than there were 100 years ago, and even less from 10 years ago. And I really liked that. Was the only sense of world building I really got from this novel. Was like, okay, so we're getting like an idea of like the Jedi's role in the galaxy at this point, and I didn't really feel like I got that from the rest of the novel, really.
Yeah, it's kind of a continuation of like what we got in the High Republic, where the Jedi are forced to kind of close down a lot of their outer rim bases, and they're moving further forward.
That's actually the John Jackson Miller, I forget what it's called, the Jedi Council book, where it's like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are going and shutting down the temples.
Fuck yeah, what was that? By that point,
that Master and Apprentice.
Yeah, was that Master and Apprentice?
No, that was I think Master and Apprentice is the Dooku and Qui-Gon one. Yeah, like radio play.
No, that is the Obi-Wan one.
Is it?
Yeah, I just looked on the shelf.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that book. That one was basically the one that I called the Star Wars.
It's the Living Force. The Living Force.
The one that I called the Star Wars Beach Day book.
Yeah, the Living Force.
Yeah, I like that one, and like that's what's been going on, taken to its ultimate conclusion, where like everything is really shut down outside the core. Because like in the High Republic, it's the opposite, where they're establishing like Starlight Beacon, and later on they're having to pull back a little bit, and yeah, so we're kind of in an in-between point right now.
I think it would have been a fine standalone story to tell. It's just the fact that they tied it into two eras of Star Wars that are 100 years apart and 20 years apart, just put it in that weird location where it's like, I don't know, you just don't really get anything out of reading it aside from being like, oh, okay, it's a cool like buddy Jedi story, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the biggest thing it suffers from for me is something that like every bit of Star Wars ends up suffering from when so much primacy is put on the movies and TV shows, where like they're not able to do much, right? Like they can show how characters got to this place, but like we can see how Indara became the Wayseeker that we see in the Acolyte, but like we know where these characters are both going, and like setting up the conflict between them felt kind of contrived. Like it just felt like Indara being kind of a jerk to Verestra for no reason, which like it's fine as a premise given that like it's supposed to be her being unreasonable and reading too much into her own relationship with her master, but the resolution is like, I'm upset that she made this decision that we're going on this journey together, and then the next day, like, oh well, actually now we're really working as a team, and then they're just kind of fine forever.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time like getting offended, basically over like things. She'd like take the worst interpretation. She'd be like, "Okay, let's go down the hallway. The door is on the left," and she'd be like, "Oh." She wanted to lead to the door down the left because she doesn't see my training as valid as a student of the new Jedi. It's like, no, like, dog, chill.
You're just kind of shut in.
Yeah.
No, I did kind of get that. But also, I saw somebody point this out when I was just trying to see what High Republic fans thought. It's kind of strange that Indara takes her apprentice, whose name I can't remember from the Acolyte, within she becomes a Wayseeker at the end of this book and becomes, and in the span of 4 years, stops being a Wayseeker, takes a new apprentice, who is then horribly scarred when they visit May and Osha's planet. Like, that's all supposed to happen within the span of 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I forgot she's the master of that guy.
Corbin. That's the
Corbin.
name I was trying to think of.
Corbin, yeah.
Corbin is from the UK.
Apprentice Jeremy.
So for whatever reason, before I read the book, I guess I didn't pay enough attention to the cover, because when I was going to start reading it, I pulled off the shelf, pulled off the dust cover, and just went to read it. So I kept waiting for like a flash forward to the Acolyte time, because I thought the cover was Verestra and Osha.
Mm-hmm.
So I was completely taken off guard by the plot of the book. Real big twist for me.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I haven't loved a lot of the writing for the High Republic generally. And this, it's hard to describe. I mean, it started with Light of the Jedi, where yes, everything is a little too flowery, and like in Light of the Jedi, you kind of attribute that to the era they're in, where it is like it's their zenith, so they are a little cheesy, or maybe not their zenith, but it's
We're All
High
the Republic
Republic
is definitely a line that I can do without ever hearing.
Yeah, we're all the Republic. Find the light, bring the light. Like, okay, but I don't know. To me, it feels like there's. It's hard to explain. It just kind of has always felt like there's been a bit more of a focus on emotion and like character perspective than world building, and it's something I missed in the High Republic, like that, especially in Light of the Jedi, where they had a lot to do. They had a lot of setup to do, and like I left that book feeling really disappointed. Like I want to know more about the galaxy, because that's like part of one of the things that's most entertaining is like, okay, we know there's new characters, but how is the galaxy different? Like what's going on? And I've always been a little disappointed that it feels like it's basically the original trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, but with some different characters. I found the same in this book, and I also found the writing just to be subpar generally. Like, there's just one scene I remember where she was in the cantina and she's like talking about the music, and there's like two or three paragraphs where essentially she says, "It's not the best music I'd ever heard, but it wasn't the worst." Like, okay.
No, I kind of felt that for the first chapter action sequence. I was like, why is this written as if I've never heard anybody describe anything ever before? Like first person, where it's like you're telling what's happening, but also you're telling it in past tense almost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to describe it. It just didn't play well to me, and it left a really poor first impression on me for the first chapter of the book.
Well, you see, Zach, this book is set at this point, but it's actually being told from Verestra's perspective while she's walking out of the shuttle in the Acolyte, when she's going to like see what happened, and turns on her light whip to do the one shot she's in.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I forgot the framing device is she was traveling through hyperspace to get there, and this was her vision. Yeah.
I have visions, or maybe they're migraines. I'm not sure. Just take a goddamn aspirin, Verestra, then you're going to be fine. Some of them are
Try
visions.
2 of these.
Most of them are hallucinations.
It was nice to see our old master. That was cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the is the nullifier concept from the High Republic? Did you say that earlier?
Yeah. So there's like the characters that get mentioned is working on it. They're from the Valo stuff. Like that's all in one of the books.
The second book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second adult book. Because I didn't remember any of the nullifier stuff. Like I remember they mentioned it happened like around the fair, which obviously I remember, but
yeah, like the fair was the one in Rising Storm. Like I think that's where Elzar like fucking hurls the hurls the stage at someone after getting out of his one night stand.
Yeah,
because Rising Storm was the book that we both put, I think, at like a 5. It was our favorite.
The one with Geode.
Yeah, well, one of the many with Geode.
Yeah. This book had some violence. Like, there's one part where, like, Verestra throws a rock and crushes a dude's head and, like, doesn't even think twice about it. And, yeah, a lot of drinking.
Well, there's also...
there's a lot of...
Picking on Justina Ireland.
A lot of sitting, pondering, and drinking tea.
Yeah, or whiskey.
There's too much of that. There's some whiskey. There's a little bit of spice smoking going on too.
Yep,
big bowl of
spice. For her first adult novel. This author was just like, all right, all the violence, all the drugs, all the alcohol, put it all in the book.
Well, it's kind of interesting because spice comes up a lot in like older Legends books and stuff, but while there's the whole thing of them like laughing at Lucasfilm not wanting them to be able to say hi or like say they're on drugs until George was like, no, spice is a drug. Like no one, I don't think they really use the word high very much, and it almost feels like a PSA against drugs, where like, oh, this person's on spice, and it's like they have rabies. Instead, it's just Nilsson is fucking useless, so he's just high all the time.
Yeah,
it's a very different portrayal, and I think the same thing is true about like business owners and stuff. Where I think in modern Star Wars, like the capitalist class is very much seen as a problem. Like they're put in the same grouping as like corrupt senators and everything. And if you have like smugglers that are the scrappy little good guys, it's people on the same level of like Geode and that crew, where they're kind of the lower down ones. Whereas in Legends, it's like if you're a business owner and you're making like war material, you're actually one of the best people in the galaxy. Like that's Lando's whole fucking thing.
That's Lando, yeah.
And if you're like a smuggler, you're a fucking kingpin, and you're also the most like most moral person in the galaxy. Like if you're not profiteering off of the Yuzon Vong War, then you're the one with the moral failing. But if you're going to be a weapons manufacturer, that's great. The only problem is that the corrupt senators will sometimes appoint their friends. But then when like you have them fucking blackmailing everyone into getting Cal Omas elected, that's the three good families in the galaxy doing what's best for their private property.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset. That's Luke talking about the election results to the rest of the galaxy.
Just a very different tone from the 90s books.
It is.
I do see if I have any other notes.
I do know what I'm giving this one.
Like,
yeah, I think we covered everything I wrote down.
I actually liked a bit of the relationship between Indara and Verestra. I liked how it ended. I'm trying to think of like what I liked about the books. I'm not trying to be too critical.
You haven't really been critical at all in the episode, which is surprising me because
it's just my thing is like I got no joy out of reading this book. Like
it's bland.
It wasn't offensively bad. Like it's not like reading, I don't know. It's not like reading Princess Leia fighting who's the Hutt that she fights? Durga. It's not like watching Princess Leia fight Durga the Hutt, but I mean it's just so fucking boring. Like I got no joy to reading this. I would have put this down, no doubt, because like at the end of the day, what am I getting out of this book? Am I getting world building? Not really. Am I getting some sort of galaxy changing event? No. Am I getting some deep themes? No, because I don't need galaxy changing event. I love the MedStar duology. There's nothing galaxy changing in that at all. But it does a lot better than this book. The one thing it seems to be focusing on is the development of Indara's and Verestra's character into the Acolyte, but we get so little of that in the show itself. It's just for me, not very satisfying. Like they could have done, like there's really cool Acolyte prequel or sequel novels they could do. This was not it, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I take issue with a lot. So one of the things that we've been told a lot whenever we do in a High Republic episode, and we haven't read every single comic, young adult, young reader book of like, oh well, the reason you don't like it or you won't understand everything if you don't read the other books. And I disagree with that strongly all the time. This is a case though where I think like the people who are going to enjoy this the most are the people who like Verestra from the High Republic. I don't think Indara really has a built-in fan base, even among like. I think people probably enjoyed her in the Acolyte. Like I enjoyed her fight scene. I thought she would, but like she dies.
The only
so
benefit is that it's Carrie-Anne Moss. Like that's all she has going for her.
Well, she just dies so fast that like you don't really get attached to her as a character. So you're not really going for that. Like that's not what's drawing someone in necessarily. But I do think this, like, if you don't know who anyone is from the High Republic, I don't think you need a deep appreciation of the High Republic to get this. But I think like you're gonna be lost for who a lot of these characters are, and you won't necessarily get as much out of it without knowing who they are, and knowing why some of those relationships are important. Because I think a lot of people overestimate how much you need to know the background of something to enjoy it. Like when I'm reading the High Republic adult novels, I don't feel like I'm missing context or that I'm appreciating stuff less because I don't know who some of the characters are. Like I think in the story that's being told, I know what's going on and I know generally who they are. In the same way that if I'm watching the original trilogy without the prequel, like if I was watching that before the prequel trilogy, as many people did, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I don't know who Darth Vader was as a kid, so I don't understand what's going on. Like, I think you get that complaint a lot from people who have read everything, and the reason they have read everything is because they already enjoyed it. But this, I think, is a book where like there is enough that is reliant on these various names coming up that is kind of what you are getting out of it, and so you won't have as much to appreciate without that.
My biggest issue is the title is The Acolyte, and I expected this to tie into the events of The Acolyte in some way. When I think of like the other tie-in books that they've done, like A New Dawn, it shows a pivotal moment where Hera meets Kanan for the first time, and you get a fun little story between the two of them. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but it's nice to see those two characters meet and have that develop. Catalyst, you get big events between the Ursos and Krennic. This book just, I don't even think Verestra and Indara interact at all throughout the Acolyte. They are just two characters that happen to be in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know if I'm disagreeing with Corey here. I don't think so, but like to me, the person who's going to enjoy this book most is someone who's emotionally attached to the High Republic era and kind of wants to experience it a bit more.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying as well. That's the person who like this is most for. But I'm not sure how much they're necessarily like. If I'm reading the High Republic, if I'm a big High Republic fan, and then I come to this, like you get the kind of a resolution with Verestra and Ty, but these are all 100-year-old women at this point.
Yeah.
Where with like the
humanoids,
the bounty hunter, Verestra and Ty, where like those relationships coming back in are a big thing, but it just feels like you're so far in the future where like it's been 80 years almost since the falling out between Verestra and Ty and like all that kind of stuff. That like it just feels like how they really just been spinning their wheels for that long. That's kind of disappointing. Exactly. So I don't know how people would react to that, like this being so far. That's in the future. Kind of what people
felt like, in The Force Awakens when they found out that, like, they thought Han and Leia were, divorced the whole time, and that wasn't the case. But for a long time, and it is kind of a shitty feeling when it's like, these characters who we love and who like they basically have been in stasis until we pick up in this book, especially when this book isn't, galaxy changing, despite, what they try to do. It's a pretty small thing.
Yeah.
But,
no, I definitely agree with what you're saying there, Corey. Is like, if I'm thinking about myself personally, like I'm not reflecting on an event that happened 10 years ago every day of my life for the next 5 years.
You don't have enough anxiety then, sir.
Well, I might be reflecting on one specific event, but I'm not reflecting on every event that somebody else could know about me every single day for for 100 years. Like, it makes me think of like whenever my least favorite like type of reference or Easter egg in a thing is when somebody repeats a piece of offhanded dialogue that they said in some kind of work, but the fans became really attached to or know it's a reference to something, and it's like, okay, that was just what was that?
Like it's a trap.
Yeah,
like massive
exactly. Exactly. And it's like, no, that meant nothing to you at the time. It's just something that people will recognize.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I got out of her character, where she was just like, oh yeah, I did this and this and this and this, but that was 100 years ago. Like, what happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Tell me about that chunk that nobody knows about yet.
And that's why I've titled this stream No Country for Old Jedi.
We're kind of getting back to my complaints about the High Republic when it first launched, in that, like, I think it needed to be closer or further away, preferably further away. I don't think there's a benefit to having Yaddle in this story or Yoda in the High Republic at all. Just like I don't think there's a benefit to having Ki-Adi-Mundi in the Acolyte, and I don't know. I don't love the idea of them just elongating these characters' lifespans so we can have them bookend a story, I guess. I guess I can accept that Verestra can live to be several hundred years old, and Ty York and all these other people just happen to be long-lived species, but I don't know. It's just...
It devalues the characters like Yoda who are that old and have carried on that long when there's a million other people who have done the same thing.
Well, Yoda's overseeing this whole devolution of the Jedi Order, so that's all on him. But I'm surprised that there is one of them that survives until the prequels. They fucking murdered Oppo Rancisis' ass like 5 times in this book. You just shit on him every page.
I think Oppo has not been killed yet in canon.
No, he is the surviving Jedi Master. He's like... Yeah. He's on in like the Tanalorr stuff, and then he's on that list in the Vader comics. Whereas like Oppo and Eth Koth, and then Eth Koth gets offed the next fucking day. Yoda and Obi-Wan die. Like Oppo Rancisis could be alive and be the Jedi Master that Rey meets next. That'd be crazy. I'd love to see that.
Like Kik Root in Legends.
Yeah. Oppo Rancisis is the new Crook.
Yeah, you almost said Ikarit. I guess he survived the purge. I guess he probably just hid out in a pet store somewhere.
All right, Zach, what are you giving this?
I'm gonna give this one a D. There just wasn't a lot here for me to enjoy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 1 above whatever I gave Battle Scars.
Battle Scars.
It wasn't Battle Scars bad.
Battle Scars, you gave it 2, so you're giving it a C.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So, I was kind of thinking I'd give it a B, but like looking at some of the other stuff I've given a B, I don't think it's quite up there, because I gave Brotherhood a B, and I really enjoyed Brotherhood.
These are average, right?
Yeah.
Move me down to a D, dog. Move me down to a D.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna go for C. I'm between a B and a C on this. Like, I'm looking at like Brotherhood and even Fallen Star and stuff. I think I enjoyed those more. But like,
I gotta look at some other ones I gave C's to. Can you send me the link real quick?
I'll tell you the other ones that you gave here. I'll link this in the chat here.
Okay.
Hopefully I didn't show Porto's anime anywhere. But so this would be the only other ones that you gave a D to were Balance Point, Battle Scars, Eye of Darkness, and Dark Saber.
How many F's have I given out?
You gave out Children of the Jedi and Planet of Twilight. I gave Champions of the Force and Planet of Twilight.
What did I give Champions of the Force? Did you mention that?
Champions of the Force, you gave a 2, a D.
Fuck. Give it a C.
I'll give it a C. Good man, good man. There we go. There we go. All right. So I think that's going to do it for this week. We're going to be going.
What did you give it? You didn't say what you gave it.
I said
Yeah,
C,
you did.
but I was like,
oh, okay.
I'm like, I'd be C plus D or B minus.
Okay. I'd be C minus, D plus.
But yeah, so we're going to be going and doing some Beerio Kart tonight with the three of us, maybe Arash, maybe Charlie. I don't know if Arash is home.
I think Arash is showing up, isn't he?
Rush tested it earlier,
Okay.
so he better be there.
So we're going to do that. Next week, I believe we're going to be back with Legacy of the Force Sacrifice, the least controversial Star Wars book. With more first person.
Is that Mara Jade dying?
Spoilers! Timothy Zahn is going to be so upset. If he could read, he'd be so upset. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Zack.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Justin.
I am us. What do you mean?
Thank you for joining us, Corey. Oh, you're welcome.
I have to find a book I like so I can talk about it with you guys, because every time I've come on here, it's been a book that I thought I liked, but I didn't like.
Thank you, Ryan, for the $5 donation. This is because I found out Corey isn't paid on X2. Do a re-ranking.
No one is paid on X2. I'm not even... Well,
Yeah.
how far do you think $50 splits?
Well, to be fair, Justin has been a patron for years at the $50 level, so I'm kind of paid on X2.
And I pay for the Podbean.
That's true. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with Ilkin for Sacrifice, and maybe between Legacy of the Force and some other books, we'll make Zack pick something that he likes, and we'll get him back on. But I have to go to the bathroom, so bye, everyone.
See ya.